Okie dokie, here I am in the backyard garden. We've got a lot of good news, but also a few bad news. Of course, the good news is I'm just surveying the plants. Of course, that sunflower seedling is basically straightforward growing, despite how much wear and tear it has actually gone through, caused by stupid pesky little insects. The rabbit food, I'd say the rabbit ear plant has seen far much better days, but I think it's called a nosy as well. There's a slug here. Yeah, gross. And I might as well just put it right here so that it can actually establish nicely. And what else do I really want to see next? More of these plants. Okay, they're nicely growing somehow by the looks of it. And then we've also, I'm pretty sure they're going to grow into very nice looking flowers. Maybe I need to transplant them and put them into the ground. I can't really tell what these plants are. Forgot the name, of course. The Biden's flowers, they've unfortunately started to wilter away. Of course, we've got two of these new tomato seedlings, but I was struggling to plant all tomato seedlings because I actually had to, unfortunately, kill them all because, the plan didn't work well. And I was just so desperate to transplant these guys just in case if they were growing like 1 or 2 weeks' time. But hey, it's another life lesson here. Of course, yes, the meadows. The lavender has done really, really nicely. The lavender, of course, has done quite a lot of great flowering, of course. I saw a hoverfly pollinating on it yesterday, and that was very good signs. That was a very good sign seeing that thing. Of course, we've got lots and lots of flowers here, lots and lots of little, tiny little buds, little flower buds that will start to appear within a week's time. And of course, yes, the heat really is triggering a sign of multiples and multiples of blossoming activity. I think the warmer the weather, the further the blossoms, the more blossoms you're gonna have throughout the rest of the whole summer and autumn, of course. And let me just also, there's a nice yellow flower here, which has been performing somehow nicely, of course. Let me just track along right here. Of course, we've got calendula. This is so incredible. We've actually got two new flowers that have actually just been spreaded out, which is really fantastic. And we've also got, I think there's about 10, roughly about 10 to 11 buds, I think, that are just shooting out. One for each flower. And of course, yes, hopefully I won't add too much water. I should probably let them just establish. The wild cabbage flower, strangely enough, it's still doing good, although I feel like, it's not really doing that great because look at the flowers of just how wilted they've gone through during such heat wave conditions like this. It's about 27 degrees Celsius, possibly 28 today. But of course, yes, we've also got some Oregonian flowers. They've also been nicely watered. All these plants have been nicely watered throughout the morning. I always seem to wake up early in the morning so that I can get a good dose of watering later in the day. And half the time I was just thinking of how careful I am just looking at those plants. The petunias, wow, look at that. They've actually started to grow so much more established. Look how, oh my goodness me, look how adventurous those little seedlings have started popping out. They are congregating. It's a nice congregation of petunia seedlings and grass. This is just absolutely amazing. Although I can see a leaf going on here, which isn't really good. There's a bit of leaf damage going on here. But one thing I've also noticed, I've just noticed these little tiny things. I just hope they're not like little caterpillars. Well, I just hope they're not. I hope they're not munching through over my plants, because if they do, well, that's not very good as a sign like that. Oi! Get out of here! Damn slug. There's always seems to be a bit of a problem with slugs. I think because we had a wet summer earlier on, we had so many slugs and snails, and I think that's the main cause. I think it's slug and snail problems that are going around at the moment here, and I think that's been very bad. I think if we want to have no slugs or snails, we will have to have, you just have to wait until a very dry and hot Mediterranean sort of summer would appear. But nowhere it is. Very much likely. But anyways, let's take a look at the tomatoes. Look how small they are. These little small tomato plants. And see how they've been working on. Okay. This one here, I think we've got two of them. Nicely started to sprout out some fruit. And then we've also got this one here, which is completely nothing incredible. I only got about one. I can't find if there's another one right here. And I've just got about 1, 2. I can't see a third one right here. Quite curious. We've actually got all tomato fruits that are starting to appear, which is so nice. Somehow that's going to make a nice delicacy. I don't know how the larger size tomato seedlings are going to cope. Hopefully by around, I'd say mid-September, we should start to see some fantastic late seasonal crops, as long as I'm keeping it into the sunshine. And straightforward, get rid of all of those pesky slugs and snails. Obviously it's not as big as what I thought it would be, but actually if I put this tomato seed in as a side-by-side comparison, you can start to see this one here is slightly smaller, but I think by week's time it's gonna go much taller than this plant here. I've got a funny feeling about this, and as strange as it sounds, it's been very good despite a bit of decay caused by the slugs and snails. And let's take a look at other plants. This tomato seedling, not really done much chop. Oh, this one here has seen far worse. I think this one here has got a bit of leaf decay. I can just pull it off without breaking the whole plant over and over and over. I could have just kept that leaf. But as I'm just going to put them straight into the sunshine, man, that's going to be, oh my goodness me, a wholesome, awesome type of method to try and get them down. The meadow section here, unfortunately it's not really done that best. Obviously this plant here has been drooping, but I think it's doing a-okay. Hopefully I need to wait for a bit longer so that the plants can establish over time, but I think they're doing a-okay. Somehow I'm off to try and incorporate some stuff around here to try and make everything okay-ish. The nasturtium plants, well, let me just see. I don't know why. Is it actually growing? Is it actually growing or is it not growing? I can't tell. Whatever the hell is it doing here? I don't think it's got that much sunlight. Maybe I need to transplant that plant, that nasturtium plant, and see whatever the hell it's doing. I don't think it's going to flower this year. It's only just like a little test to see which plants are very good for me to plant or not. I can't quite recall. I've tried so many methods. I'm have to probably buy, more plant pots and more containers so I can store as many plants and stuff. So I want to try and, keep on moving on forward and not overwhelm myself far too much. And right over in my backyard garden, we've actually got a bit of wildlife going around here. We've got a squirrel. That is fantastic. Oh my goodness me, I've just squashed my meadow plants. That is a grey squirrel. It's pretty much running and taking for cover against the morning hot sun. It's like a rainforest, isn't it, when you got little bits of wildlife coming out. So beautiful, isn't it? Oh, onto the tree. Fantastic to see. And wow, that's fairly fantastic. I could do like a little National Geographic documentary if I got paid for this. And you got some trees right here. And, amazingly, I'm going to actually walk towards that section there because I just noticed I've been seeing a lot of bee activity right over in these white flowers. Now, I'm not sure what they're called, but I think they're called pint weeds. I might be totally wrong, but I heard that they're quite poisonous. I can't tell which one is very poisonous. I can't tell which part of it is poisonous. I've seen a lot of these white flowers that the bees have been pollinating, but I can't tell if pint weed is very much poisonous. I know they're not native to this country, because I don't think they would have came here. Somehow it's quite interesting seeing a lot of life involved, and I have to say that the rest of the backyard garden is still preserving its lush green and fertile sort of colorization here. In fact, look at the grass. You can definitely see how fertile it has already been, and it's amazing of just how unusually, incredibly dry this week will be, but I think I can start to see a bit of discolorizations going around here, but not as much. I think the heavy rainstorms that will be coming on Thursday midnight will straightforward appear. There's a lovely bumblebee here, which I kind of spooked about it, of course. It's just beyond amazing when you look at things in the backyard garden somehow, especially in the morning. It's just so fantastic. Beautiful stuff. It's really fantastic to look at. And this dandelion here has grown quite big. Look how massive this dandelion is. I might have to probably transplant that thing there. It's quite fantastic. Then you've also got an array of dandelions here. I mean, look how much the garden is starting to reconstruct itself. I'm just beyond half, if not fully amazed, of how this garden has transformed into. Although I'd probably say that the dandelions are weeds and not very much necessary. But, uh-oh, am I seeing something that's not very nice? We've got little tiny thorns. That's not very nice to see, but we've got a little hoverfly coming in like so. They're not bees, they're little hoverflies. And they don't have stingers, which somehow understands their little biology essence and convergent evolution beyond that. It's basically mimicry, isn't it? Biological mimicry, as you can definitely tell. Just shows you how much I've learnt so far. And as I'm tracking around here, the lobelias, they've grown so much. Might as well leave that to establish because it's already soaking wet, because I watered that in the morning, and because we had so much rain early on in the month. We had so much of all that wet soil going around here, and that's actually keeping the plants to grow so much nicer and taller. It's just beyond fantastic. Anyways, I should probably leave this video here. If you really enjoyed in this very interesting garden surveillance video, please give this video a like, subscribe for more for that videos in the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching. And before I should probably shout out what comes up later, I might show you the lavenders after that, of course. How are they doing? Oh no, oh dear, pretty terrible. Anyways, I think that's about it. Bye for now.